can use this training place with peace of mind. Even if you damage it, it will be restored immediately. Hearing that, Tun immediately pulled out his knife and said, "Not bad. In the past there have been many people who wanted to learn my sword technique. But in general they did not have the conditions to this extent, or their ability to learn was too low. Boss Su, you may not be talented with a knife, but you probably still know what you're doing. Take out your sword." Bin also did not want to waste any more words. I made my move. Right after that, Bin suddenly opened the space summoning. The little skeleton jumped to the ground from there, and out of habit, it immediately looked alert in all four directions. But Tun looked at the tiny hand of the little toy, which looked like a toy, and showed the right kind of discouragement. The facial expression is very strange. Don't say, the person who wants to learn sword techniques is this scolding boy. He is clearly a title-level master. The master of a pet like Bin is very respectful before accepting to teach. Who would have thought that the person he wanted him to teach was this little kneeler? If this news gets out, people will laugh until their teeth and eyes fall out, Bin excitedly told Tun. Exactly, during this time I have to go out for a trip. Asking him to guide him on how to dig up the little dry low, Bin smiled and raised his hand, took out a fruit from the space and said, "Of course I can't invite you to work for free. Please accept this." Tun used his strength to take the fruit closer and was startled to realize, is this the spirit aggregate? Can make the battle pet master's energy level below level 9, instantly raising the level by 1 level. He looked at the spirit aggregate and silently pondered. Although I am already level 9 advanced, this fruit cannot be upgraded to legendary level, but it can shorten the training time by 1 to 2 years, and then I can continue to practice to reach legendary level. Still a significant increase. More importantly, this thing is too precious and priceless to a battle pet master. If you have money, you may not have a source to buy it. If you don't have a relationship with him, even if the price is several hundred million, it will still be worth it. Not sure if I can buy it. Tun suddenly said with a serious face, but boss too, this is not a matter of salary, my knife is in chaos. If you don't have the fundamentals, let alone learn, I'm afraid you won't understand even just looking at it. Bin heard Tun's meaning. He immediately signaled the little skeleton to show off his strength. The little bone heard the command and immediately jumped up high. From midair, it quickly pulled out its bone blade. Slashing all the way down, the illusory image of the Bone Lao King immediately appeared in the void. The blade is surrounded by a layer of dark gas. Cut through the air and cut the sea in half to the bottom. Put a vase to cover the rain for Tun and asked with a smile. Senior Tun, do you think the strength of this small arm is enough? Tun looked stunned at the scene before his eyes. Advanced swordsmanship is a level 7 pet skill. Only adds 60% of your power to basic attacks. Since it has created such attack power, it is enough to learn. Obviously Tun was shocked when he saw it. Just starting out with swordsmanship, you can divide the sea into 2 halves. My unique technique of Chaos Crystal Reincarnation Knife has the ability to increase attack according to one's own strength, up to 120%, double its current level. If you let this dry name, it will be completely learned from you. How strong can it be by then? It's hard to imagine. Tun immediately said excitedly. That's enough to be able to learn my sword technique. But it's better to say that. Please let me teach this excellent sword technique to Tiu Kot Lao. If I can't teach it today, I won't be able to eat well and sleep well. My heart will be itchy. He then threw up the weapon case. Watch them fly in all directions. Tun uses his energy to control weapons. Dang floats in mid-air. Move towards Tiu Kot and start practicing immediately. Boss Bin, why did he miss this rare opportunity? He quickly took a photo. Print it out as a photo to hang in the shop. Surely it makes people restless. Then he told to Lang Wei and Hua Kuang. Things at home have been arranged. Next, I will take you guys to reclaim land. Say it and do it. Bin drives a reclaimed war vehicle and looks very cool. Follow the 2 young people to the place Deep Tran Sun told him at that time. Hua Kuang sat in the car and couldn't help but exclaim. This type of vehicle is basically impossible for colonists to buy. I once heard my sister say it. This type of vehicle is a Class A war vehicle. You must be at least a silver medal level to be eligible to buy it. As expected of a master. Take this car to a wild land as majestic as a tiger. Bin heard that and smiled slightly. I asked a friend to recommend a suitable place for 2 colonists. Unexpectedly, that friend still thought carefully. Even our car and reclamation papers were prepared. I'll take you to the reclamation base's warehouse. Choose an armor for each person. Lang Wei suddenly leaned over and asked him where he went yesterday. The girl heard the wind. He went to fight with someone. Worriedly asked him if he was injured. Bin said superficially, no problem. It's a humble Chow family that dares provoke me to destroy the Liu family. Want to stay later and grab a bite to eat. Then he went and said right and wrong. Then he killed all the masterminds. From top to bottom, from old to young. Hua Kuang and Lang Wei turned pale when they heard that. Kill them all? The Chow family in this city is still a large family that everyone respects. Yet Bin could easily solve it like that. After Lang Wei calmed down, she opened her mouth to ask. Is it related to the nomination? But Bin smiled. Stupid girl, everyone wants to be at the top. We are an emerging force. There will definitely be conflict with the old forces. Fight them. It's inevitable. I don't blame you, but don't worry too much. Bin guessed that Lang Wei was afraid that he would fight and kill people just because of her. So I don't want to drag you into this. Hua Kuang added. That means, Master, are you going to nominate yourself? Bin put his hand on his forehead. I'm the shop owner. What does it have to do with that championship award? Besides, that reward doesn't help anything. The biggest reward of the unknown family is to be directly taught by a rank and file battle pet master. Isn't that a great opportunity for kids like you? But it's nothing to me. After walking for a while, Hua Kuang and Lang Wei were looking down from the mountainside and saw the level 7 demon dog munching on its lunch. At this moment, the phantom beast suddenly appeared in midair and sprayed towards him. Ma Kuyan took a mouthful of pitch black fire and was then hit with many bullets in a row, making the monster roar angrily. As it burned and was hit by the bullet, it went crazy and waved its hands at the illusory flame beast in front of it. But when beaten, they slowly began to dissipate like smoke, leaving behind the evil demon dog with several arrows stuck in it. It was just like that, not understanding anything. Suddenly, a swamp reptile was covered in tentacles. Where does it float up? Use a few tentacles to immediately wrap around the legs of the fleeing ghost dog. The real illusory flame beast then jumped up very high and began to accumulate energy. From the small mouth of the illusionary beast opened. The fire dragon fist erupted violently. Covers all evil spirits. The evil dog let out a pitiful scream. But it didn't die that quickly. The evil dog roared loudly. The ultimate burst of power. All the bullets lodged in its body bounced back. It jumped up to escape the mud beast's siege. In just 2 steps, the evil dog had already approached the 2 people on the other side of the mountain. See danger approaching. Hua Kuang and Lang Wei simultaneously opened the summoning space. Lang Wei calmly commanded. Just now we seriously injured it. Just a little more is enough. The next afternoon you blocked my attack. Just finished speaking. A huge pet beast with blue hair and quite handsome appearance appeared. Use your forelimbs to repel the evil dog's attack. Lang Wei shouted orders. Come out here, Silver Mist Star Moon Dragon. Following Lang Wei's summons, the Silver Mist Moon Dragon flapped its wings and flew out from space. Lang Wei's entire body gathered energy. Enhance level 4 strength and order the pet beast to cast the move Wei Kai Loi Pan. Increased strength. The Silver Mist Moon Dragon flew in and used its forelimbs to successfully scratch and kill Ma Kuyan. Hua Kuang immediately shouted excitedly, finally done. Suddenly behind them they felt it. A look that made the hair on the back of my neck stand up. Lang Wei is sharp. Realized there was something wrong with the back. She immediately turned around and activated the star shield. Just in time to block the level 6 attack. It was a hammerhead beast opening its mouth to bite her and Hua Kuang. Despite being able to call out the conflict at the right time, she still couldn't avoid being injured by the hammerhead's teeth. Hua Kuang immediately summoned the soul-devouring beast and released black gas to cover the hammerhead beast's eyes. While the black gas was spreading rapidly, he helped To Lang Wei jump a few steps away from the ferocious beast's reach. He looked at Tu. Lang Wei quickly opened her mouth and said that monster seemed to be poisonous. Was the little monk okay? Tu Lang Wei's whole body suddenly appeared surrounded by green light. Still looking ahead warily, she thanked him. You saved me once, so we're even. Regarding Bondu, Master Doc Vong has taught me advanced treatment techniques. Along with detoxification, this small wound only needs to be stimulated and can be easily cured. Under the influence of the soft green essence, it envelopes you. The wound on To Lang Wei's back immediately closed. The poison attached to the wound also disappears. Seeing this, Hua Kuang could not help but praise the young master's greatness. Hearing noises in the distance, he was worried. Not good. That monster is calling its accomplices. Tu Lang Wei calmly commanded. We should still hide in the black gas that has not yet dissipated. If they don't find us, we'll just leave. Temporarily, the advantage is still there. Calm down, let the reptiles take over and cooperate with our Huyan Diem beasts to attack them together while we hide. Tu Bin jumped up to watch the battle from afar and couldn't help but smile. I originally thought that when they came to the wilderness and suffered some pain, the two of them would cry pitifully and ask to go home, but I underestimated them. Looking back and looking again, I still see that whether it was their temperament or personality, their fighting talent or ability, To Lang Wei's ability to command battles is not inferior to any other sect master. It seems he has worried too much. If To Lang Wei can really take on Beast Tin An this time, he has no chance of becoming the tournament champion. And from now on, he won't have to worry about his sister's safety every day anymore. After training the two of them to a certain level, the two of you can stay at home and take care of the store, so I can feel secure when going out. Because To Lang Wei wanted to become strong and help her brother Tu Bin, she spent every day in the reclamation area diligently hunting and killing monsters. I don't know what day it was, but the area where the number of monsters killed was lined up with a long line of people. One employee assessed the quality of the killed animals, the other looked at the call sign for reclaimer number 90. The called person excitedly turned his hand and stepped forward to ask how many points he had and how many merits he could redeem. After finding out that he only had 1280 points, he looked dumbfounded, not understanding why he killed so many ferocious beasts and only got that many points. The staff explained that the regulations on merit were clearly stated that level 1 ferocious beasts get 10 points, level 2 50 points, level 3100 points, level 4 1000 points, level 5 10,000 points, level 6 100,000 points, level 6 100,000 points, 7 5 million points. The two employees couldn't control it and laughed haha. The highest level of the animal he hunted was level 4. But being able to reclaim the land alone and come back alive is already stronger than many people. Then laugh and encourage that person to try harder, knowing what else to do. Immediately after that, it was the Da Lang team's turn with 64 people registered. After totaling more than 1.57 million points. When the guy with number 90 heard that, he immediately exclaimed, more than 1.5 million merit points. As expected of the Da Lang team, the staff asked the team leader how to distribute merit points to members. The captain said a team gets 100,000 each. The other two teams each got 20,000. Interns each get 5,000. The lone pioneer heard that and blamed himself for fighting alone and risking his life for only more than 1,000 points. And the trainees on that team got 5,000 points each. He thought he was stupid to go exploring alone, so he approached and asked to join the team. After dividing the points for the Da Lang team, it was the turn of the other group of 3 pioneers. The staff paused a bit while counting their total points. More than 2,000,002 points with a pile of ferocious beast corpses piled up behind, all of them level 6 or higher. Everyone around is talking about, more than 2 million merit points but only divided between 3 people? If divided equally, each person will get 70 to 80,000 points. The employee asked how his team's points were divided. Tu Bin slowly said that he would only share it with the other 2 people, he would not participate in the fight. He turned back to look at Hua Kuang and To Lang Wei and asked how they wanted to split. Hua Kuang scratched his head and smiled, saying most of the points should go to Tu Lang Wei, she saved him many times from danger. Tu Langwei heard that and suggested that each person get half. Those things are just things that have to be done. Suddenly, from the nearby Da Lang team, there was someone arguing loudly internally. It turned out to be a trainee from the Da Lang team, dissatisfied with the 5,000 points allocated to each person. At first there were just whispers, then there were boos, thinking that it was unfair that they put in more effort than that and could only redeem 5,000 points. A girl standing next to Yan Din asked why she didn't say anything. Could it be that you see that we worked hard for several days and only got a few thousand merit points? If you don't use the merit points to buy secret treasures in the reclamation warehouse, then you can exchange them for crystal coins to buy one-time compensation. Nurture pets. Just as everyone was about to protest, the leader of the Da Lang team shouted in silence. The sound waves mixed with his energy shocked the people below, causing everyone to clutch their ears unbearably. Then the vice captain stepped up and said that the new guys really didn't understand what the rules were. The first time I went to reclaim land, it was enough just to get experience, but also to ask for merit points. Maybe it would have been better not to bring these entanglements along. Among the interns, there were people who were more courageous, and when they heard that, they immediately objected. What is leg tangling? It's true that interns don't know everything, but at most they just ask a few questions over and over again, not causing anything big. And again, in the battle with the level 8 Lydium Dragon Elephant Beast, thanks to Ms. Tu's lightning test, to restrain the ferocious beast. Everyone was able to kill the ferocious beast, without fear of danger. After that, the other student insisted that he should be given merit points and the crowd also agreed to that idea. Tu Langwei looked at Tu Bin and was about to ask something. He already knew what she meant, so he raised his hand and shushed, telling her not to rush to judge. He looked at the Da Lang team with a serious look and told her to continue listening. The experienced people in the Da Lang team snorted in disdain. The newbie just killed a few ferocious beasts and immediately pretended to be me. Immediately, there were sounds of discontent from all around, killing ferocious beasts in exchange for merit points, which is normal. The captain said in a cold voice, if we only consider killing ferocious beasts, then the experienced founder in front of you is more than capable of dealing with those ferocious beasts. This time he really brought back a lot of them. High merit score. Suddenly he roared, but don't forget how you got back. Investigation, command, medical, logistics, are there contributors? You all can't do it, just follow the hunting team. When you are in danger, we will protect you, and if you are injured, we will compensate you. The trainees immediately calmed down. He paused for a moment and continued to say that if you fight as a team, the benefits will be divided equally and the risks will be much reduced. If you're still dissatisfied, you should go to the Hoang Hoang alone to pick up those points and see if you can do it or not. Hearing that, the crowd suddenly fell silent and thought. And Tu Langwei didn't say a word. It seemed like she was pursuing her own thoughts, and had no intention of speaking up to defend the newcomer anymore. Tu Bin looked at this with joy in his heart. This kid looks at things too one-sidedly. In the past, everything was considered black and white, thinking that evil people must be eliminated. This isn't really a bad thing, but when it comes to strength, those things no longer work. In this enlightenment area, you can retrain your character. Then Tu Bin turned around and the two people were still standing there. Don't stand there anymore. The path you two have to take is even more difficult than theirs. Quickly exchange your merits into star coins to go to the store to train your pet. The preparation time for the tournament is less than a month. From now on every week I will go to the opening area to practice and make money. Whether or not you make it to the gold table depends on the two of you. Tu Langwei immediately regained his composure, his eyes showing determination. In the days that followed, she always devoted herself to the competition, every day regularly bringing the Silver Moon Crystal Moon Dragon to train her. Hua Kuang also did not forget to use crystal coins to buy all kinds of nourishing essences. Tu Langwei is led by Tu Bin every week to the wild area to frantically hunt down ferocious beasts there. At first, Hua Kuang was only ranked 9th in the consumption table of Tin Niche Pet Store. Tu Langwei was ranked 10th. After more than a month of non-stop efforts to open the empire, Tu Langwei also reached 5th place, with Hua Kuang following closely at number 6. The increase in strength is very obvious. Finally, the day came to announce the results. Bin loudly said that tomorrow is the day to know who is the champion of the expense list nominated for the contest. Everyone below began to speculate who that person was. Some people who saw this had a sinister smile on their faces. Tin Nin Pet Shop finally agreed to nominate someone. I want the name of the nominee to be spread everywhere in Longjiang. Within just one day the 4 great families will chop your people into pieces. If those Chow family chickens can't defeat you, then there is someone who can. The 2 people kneeling below heard that and asked the nominee who would compete for the first prize. With us? The person kneeling on the other side also snorted, wanting to punch him a few times. He raised his head and spoke to the person sitting on the high chair. Patriarch, if I encounter this person and kill him, is it okay? The person he was talking about was to Lang Nguyen, at the top of the consumer rankings. That day, the girl appeared on the newspaper pages as hot news that Tin Niche Pet Shop nominated participants for the Tin An tournament. The 52nd World Elite Championship has officially opened. The selection area of Longjiang City is called New Moon, divided into many different arenas. The tournament begins with the preliminary round. As soon as it started, the host stirred up the atmosphere to a hot level, making the audience below excited. Everyone wants the first match to start. Everywhere there were loud cheers. The host saw that the crowd was excited, so of course he had to repeat a few sentences to increase attention. Then he invited the players onto the field. Because there are many players participating, to save time, the organizers divided the players into 30 matches taking place at the same time. In this round, from 1,000 participants, pairs will be selected to compete against each other. As soon as the MC announced the start, all the doors were closed. The white curtain protecting the stands has also been erected. Soon they opened the match. From above the arena appeared a large metal box. When opened, people were stunned. It was a herd of 7,749 males rushing out in pitch black. In the crowd, someone realized that this swarm of bees had level 5 combat power, and was also known as the Devil Bee. The MC's excited tone echoed everywhere. He said that the theme of this qualifying round is this swarm of bees. Just being stung by a male from this herd will cause that person to immediately fall into a coma, hence the name, Devil Scallop Bee. Candidates will have 6 hours to participate. Both participants and viewers of the match screamed in dismay. Many level 5 bee devils can force people to stay in the yard without being stung for 6 hours. The new participant was stung by bees running around the yard. They complained that even though they had signed the death certificate before taking the exam, being in a permanent coma was even scarier than dying. The rate of not being successful in this contest makes many people think that whoever doesn't get hit is the luckiest person. Many people have the ability to run at full speed, but the number of bees is too large and is always in a dangerous position. Just in time, this MC allows contestants to summon their star pets. Dong Min Tung stood outside, stroking his beard and slowly commenting. This competition is more difficult than the previous one, but with the blue sword, it's like playing with a toy. Chu Van Thien sat on the other side, crossed his arms and shook his thighs, speaking humbly. The deep how you took the effort to train is not bad, right? Dong Min Tung nodded and replied as if he didn't care about Bin sitting in the middle. But Teacher Tu's younger sister to Lang Wei is the main focus of this contest. Chu Van Thien looked over at him listening to both sides flatter each other. Teacher Tu, the determined demeanor of Chop that you showed in the previous match has remained in the hearts of Kiam Lam students. The children looked at him and could only wish. Let me ask, do you want to come find Lam as an outstanding teacher? No matter how much Fuang Sun pays you, we will pay you 100 times more. Dong Min Tung immediately jumped up and looked at Chu Van Thien with fiery eyes. This old man dares to rob someone right in front of my eyes? Do you want to come and do business with me? Chu Van Thiem also showed that no one would give in to the other. Master Tu is a man of great supernatural powers. If he was just an advisor, it would be such a waste. Dong Min Tung's veins filled his clenched fist and raised his voice as Fuang Sun School was also preparing to beat Bin. Bin was sandwiched in the middle and found it extremely annoying. Listening to this, Tabin wanted to quit teaching. He spoke awkwardly to Dong Min Tung. I've been quite busy lately, not teaching. I often use the school's connections to find personal cultivation materials. My personal evaluation is probably very poor right now. Dong Min Tung did not take his words to heart. With him here, who would dare to judge him? He glanced at Tabin questioningly. I heard that you single-handedly suppressed the entire Chow family. With your fighting power, even if you don't come to Fuangsun to give lectures, you will still be a great support for the school. He also smiled and added that the students who went to his Tin Tin pet shop to train their pets all received pets with greatly increased fighting power. Thanks to that, teachers do not have to work hard to educate students like before. With that, I will promote you to become the head of Fuangsun's training department. Although it is only a new department, it can use the school's resources freely. Normally there is no need to teach anything, just accept the work of training star pets of the whole school. I wonder what you mean? Tabin heard that and immediately showed a cruel smile but still pointed down and said, I don't want to hear anything unrelated to the competition right now. We'll talk later. Uncle Van Thien looked at the other two people with only eyes that had already reached an agreement, then bitterly said, Don't forget to scold Dong Min Tung. This damn old fox, in order to keep Tabin, did not spare the resources of a half of Fuangsun School. Play like that, go to the chicken coop and play alone, no one will play again. Knowing that, I would have proposed to Tabin earlier. At this moment, the host's voice rang out again. Are the players ready? Now those of you who give up competing will be escorted out by our lovely staff. By the way, please remember that if you harm this employee, you will be disqualified from the competition. As soon as they were given the order to start the contest, the swarm of demon bees immediately pointed their butts out and pointed out their spiky tails. From there, a black light emitted that looked very sinister. These bees do not fly close to people and then sting them, but from their tails they shoot beams of light that penetrate the competitors. If it's light, it will scratch, if it's heavy, it will puncture the places they run into. Hit by the bees, hundreds of people fell to the ground paralyzed, losing the ability to fight. In addition to its ability to cause coma, its ability to penetrate objects is equally strong. The host looked at the situation and couldn't help but comment, I didn't expect someone to be eliminated so quickly. This match looks quite interesting. Very soon, Tu Lang Wei was surrounded by bees. The bee hovered above her, suddenly making a hissing sound and spraying poison towards Tu Lang Wei, like a piece of needle flying towards her. Many of them attacked at the same time. It felt like she was standing under a rain of needles. Tu Lang Wei did not choose to use the star shield for defense but chose to avoid attack. After more than a month of training, she can confidently use only her flexibility in movement to avoid attacks. Tu Lang Wei silently pondered. The number of these bees is too much. Probably not controlled by a war pet master. But if it's a wild bee swarm in nature, why don't they attack the field's flower staff? Is it just a coincidence? At the same time, on the other side of the field, there was a short-haired guy raising his fist high in the air. Using only my strategy, it creates undiluted grade 5 pure bee juice. With one punch he can kill several bees at once. He muttered that all he had to do was kill these swarms of bee demons and he would be gone. So he used his power to kill each one. The host looked at these two people who only used muscle power. These were clearly two war pets hiding their true strength. But it wasn't time for the other guy to be happy. Below the ground in the yard, a gate opened, from which a swarm of black bees poured out until it covered the entire sky before his eyes. He suddenly shouted in horror, "Why is this happening?" The host laughed when he saw that. It seems this candidate chose the wrong way to do the test. The bees and ghosts reproduce very quickly, so we already have a large amount of stored text. So even if our strength is enough to overcome the challenge, we cannot underestimate the enemy. Tu Lang Wei has been relying only on spiritual movement or avoiding attacks without counter-attacking. She ran and thought. Most of the contestants were level 4, only a few reached level 5. Level 6 could be counted on the fingers of one hand. But even if there were level 7 experts here, it would be difficult to last 6 hours under such heavy attack. Furthermore, the number of bee colonies cannot be reduced by force. She suddenly revealed a smile. So that means this match is not a test of fighting ability. It's something else. While Tu Langwei was flexibly dodging the attack, not far away, 3 people were staring at her and then quietly approaching her. The 3 people all belonged to Dronzer, and when they saw her, they all smiled mysteriously. The green-haired guy at the top looked at her without blinking. That's the girl who wants to compete for the championship with our young master. If you don't know how to measure yourself, give yourself a little taste of life. At that time, Tu Langwei, being chased by a swarm of bees, suddenly jumped next to a flower worker. In her heart, she thought to herself, see what would happen if she led the bees close to a school cotton employee. As expected, men did not continue to chase her like before. But stopping in the sky, she secretly rejoiced in her heart. Surely this man did not consider the flower staff to be his enemy, so he could not attack like that. If the honeybee demon has the ability to accurately distinguish who is an enemy and who is an enemy, then there are 2 cases here. One is that someone uses the ability to control pet animals, within a certain range, to control the direction of movement of the entire group in the arena. Second, there is something on the body of the flower staff that prevents the bees from attacking them. If it was the first case, she could use her spiritual energy to sense throughout the arena who that person was. But it hasn't been found yet. Just as Tu Langwei was still thinking about the possibilities, 3 people from Dronzer grabbed a hidden weapon and launched it at her from behind. She suddenly remembered the rule she had read about forbidding harming grass flowers. Because she was so focused, she didn't notice the hidden weapon flying in. Dong Min Tung and Uncle Van Thien sweated when they saw it. It's not okay, it's the hidden weapon of the Dronzer, the purple orchid, the poisonous silver scorpion. These 3 types of hidden weapons are extremely toxic. If they are level 6 or below, if they are exposed to it, they will definitely die suddenly. While the 2 of them worriedly looked at Tu Bin's younger sister about to be killed before their eyes, Tu Bin appeared to be indifferently observing the situation. Just as Tu Langwei was about to be stabbed, her body suddenly turned sideways to avoid this attack. The moment she turned around, her eyes suddenly emitted a murderous look. At that moment, she quickly determined the position of the person attacking her behind. She immediately raised her legs to cover 3 hidden weapons and used them. The esoteric mind snake of Dronzer kicked back towards the 3 sneak attackers. Each hidden weapon hit them one by one in their eyes of horror and disbelief. From above, the host's commentary sounded. The 3 players of Dronzer were unfortunately hit by a swarm of bees. It was a pity to have to stop in the qualifying round. Tu Langwei turned his head to look around, secretly guessing that there must be a secret treasure of flowers and herbs on the field. If you believe it, you will definitely pass this round easily. The elite battle has just begun. Tu Langwei used the esoteric snake heart of Dronzer. With a blink of an eye, he sent his 3 attackers back to heaven with his grandparents. Just after dealing with those people, I saw ghosts and bees flying above the barrier. Suddenly, the herd made a hissing sound, then sprayed countless poisonous needles at the contestants running around on the field. Everyone tried their best to fight. A young man summoned a pet that looked like a frog and ordered it to unleash a fiery wall. At the frog master's command, VM Jop sprayed a wall of extremely hot fire around both of them to keep the master and servant inside safe. The ghost bees don't know what to fear, they just rush into the fire like moths and are burned into ashes that fall to the ground. The surrounding contestants who had no ability to resist realized that the flame wall was a level 6 pet skill. They ran towards the firewall while screaming, "It's very dangerous outside, please let us inside." The owner of Ek VM Jop did not respond happily upon hearing that. "If you're smart like you, I'll chain you to several children. This is the qualifying round. Did you let some people in here to push me out to die?" Those people ducked to avoid the man's needle stabbing them, and shouted at him, "I promise I won't stab you. Help me, I will pay you after the match." That young man did not move, looked at the helpless crowd and chuckled inwardly. "Luckily, I often go to Boss Two's place to raise his pets, otherwise I would be one of them." In another place, there are also people fighting against bee and scallop ghost rolls. Someone used a technique to attack the bees, causing him to explode. Tu Langwei, who was running away below, saw that scene and was confused and did not understand. What's going on? I searched all over the arena, but still couldn't find any secret that could destroy the bees. Could it be that it is in the herd? If there is a bee on the body of a ghost, it can be probed with spiritual energy. Tu Langwei closed her eyes and focused her energy on observing each animal in the herd to see if there was anything unusual. 1 sun corresponds to 1 star contestant. Suddenly, Tu Langwei realized that one of the bees was different from the rest. That is her goal. Tu Langwei immediately cast level 5 energy to speed up. The ground under her feet was crushed under the force of the attack, creating hundreds of images under her feet. Bouncing back, she broke through the wind and rushed towards her target bee. Before the bee ghost could react, Tu Langwei grabbed him. Immediately after that, she used 2 strong fingers to grip the demon butterfly's wings and yank him out of its body. The secret treasure hidden on this bee's body was also revealed from there. MC saw this and immediately got excited. Unexpectedly, in just 1 short hour, someone was the first to find a way to solve the problem. The contestants are tired of having to deal with this devil. Hearing the MC's comment, everyone was angry and searched, finally looking at Tu Langwei. Tu Langwei tightly grasped the gold ring she took from the bee earlier, now proudly standing on the field without fear of being attacked. But the men really didn't consider her a traitor. Get recognition from the host. She was the first to win a qualifying position. Several young men all around showed all kinds of dissatisfied expressions. So this is the way to pass this round? Oh, I'm sorry. Among the ones they killed, they probably damaged some of the rings in there. Then, Dong Min Tung sitting in the stands couldn't help but breathe a sigh of relief. Luckily we got through it, otherwise Fuang Sun would have lost a new star. Uncle Van Thien was also shocked when he saw the match situation. Just now, Tu Langwei broke through the hidden weapon and displayed extremely neat skills. He looked a little curious towards Tu Bin. Excuse me, Principal Tu, who did your sister learn from? Tu Bin smiled and said calmly. Nothing new, just learned a few tricks from the old Guangjia guys. Uncle Van Thien has an O-shaped mouth and A-shaped eyes. He can also learn the secret moves of Guangjia. What relationship does this homeroom teacher to have with the Duong family that they teach it to his younger sister? Below, the match continued the way Tu Langwei did successfully. The host commented. There were many people who quickly learned the way of player Tu Langwei and passed the exam. This contest has 100 alliance rings for 100 quick-witted people who pass the qualifying round. Those who have passed this round are asked to leave the field to rest and prepare for the next round. Tu Langwei left the match with his alliance ring and could not help but breathe a sigh of relief. Luckily we discovered this secret early. If you don't let the people on the field fight and kill for a while longer, no one will be able to pass this round. Now go home and tell mom the good news. Looking at the back of Tu Langwei happily leaving, it was clear that someone was not happy. The scoundrels who blocked Guangjia's transport are dead, now it's my turn to take action. Right after that, following that guy's orders, the magical pan beast's eyes suddenly turned red and stared at Tu Langwei. It let out a low roar and then silently approached the direction she was leaving. It had just performed a pet skill that caused all nearby pet beasts to be affected by bloodlust, and the killer wanted to kill those nearby. From the magic pan beast, a strong aura emitted, causing the bees above to begin to appear strangely moving. Tu Langwei realized the movement and immediately turned around in time to avoid countless poisonous needles shooting towards her from the swarm. She continuously jumped from one side to the other to avoid the unexpected attacks from the bees. While avoiding Tu Langwei, she still realized that this was the Mew family's secret technique. Can cause star pets with low intelligence to fall into madness. This skill is too heavy on the spirit. Therefore, the user will spend half of his energy and his pet beast to perform the move. Realizing that his skills had been seen through, the blue-haired young man also turned pale but remained stubborn. If you know, what can you do? The MC saw the situation on the field becoming strange and shouted uncontrollably. Damn it, it's gone. The swarm of bees on the field seemed to have been controlled by a certain player. Everyone pulled together to constantly attack player Tu Langwei. Suddenly, the stands were filled with disgruntled curses. Isn't this clearly aimed at people? What kind of people are they? Now look at the armpit to see if it's dark, but why is it so dark? The crowd voiced the male MC's thoughts. He quickly explained, although there was no rule prohibiting attacking other players. But ethically, doing so is unacceptable. This person needs to be removed from the race. The blue-haired guy grinned. What to do with dark armpits? White armpits don't make rice taste better. If you win, you will be king, and if you lose, you will go to heaven. I don't believe I can't kill this brat. This position belongs to our Mew family. The bees flapped their wings and flew towards to Lang Wei at high speed. She decisively opened it, summoning space. Seeing this, the host was surprised and spoke up. Player to Lang Wei has finally summoned a pet beast. The Muck family's player forced player to Lang Wei to summon pet beasts to protect him. But to Lang Wei is trapped in all directions. How will she fight back? As soon as he finished speaking, a winding dragon-shaped donkey swept past without hitting his eyes. Fire Dragon's violent fist wiped out all the bee demons within a radius of 20 meters around her. Tu Lang Wei and the magical beast slowly walked out of the donkey. The MC quickly updated those with nearsighted eyes who could not see the situation. Unexpectedly, the skill of the strongest level 8 pet of the fire system, Fire Dragon Tyrant Fist, was performed by the illusionary Flame Beast. While the Huyan Diem Beast does not have a legitimate bloodline but still masters this skill, it is rare and difficult to find. The blue-haired man looked at this scene in bewilderment. Why is that? Why don't you summon the pet beasts from where? It turns out that the trump card is a war pet that seems to be loaded with VIP. But there are as many ghost butterflies on the field as mushrooms growing after the rain. I think you can rely on this level 8 pet skill of yours to withstand several attacks. He decided to once again signal the magic pan beast to attack. Suddenly, from somewhere on his body, several small purple snakes appeared, swirling everywhere, and a look of horror appeared on his body. Snake? Where did the snake come from? He shouted orders to the magic pan beast to kill the snake for him. But the magic pan beast did not see the snake anywhere, but only saw its owner gesticulating wildly. This is the remote dream skill of the illusionary beast, causing both the master and servant of the blue-haired man to become lost in an illusion, unable to continue fighting. Tu Lang Wei had just taken off the alliance ring on the blue-haired man's hand. While laughing, the bloodthirsty pet skill has a weakness. That is when the spirit pet helps the owner share the mental pressure, the vigilance will decrease accordingly. Create good conditions for others to approach and then cast illusions on both the owner and the pet. The blue-haired man watched as the ring on his hand was taken off. Unable to resist anything, I could only tremble and ask Tu Lang Wei. Wait, what do you want to do? Tu Lang Wei turned around and smiled. The stick that hit you on the back is what my brother taught me. Behind you, the man without the protection of the ally ring was immediately bitten to pieces by the crowd of men. Who is this that made Tu Bin so angry that he called the little skeleton to take action directly? Not long before that, on the field, there was a qualifying round. The Mew family's people had their alliance rings taken away by Tu Lang Wei. A master and a servant immediately became the target of attack by a swarm of bees and demons. The spectators in the stands saw both the master and servant, after being attacked by the bees, turning into a pile of mucus on the floor, and both of them cried out. It's so shocking, this method is so terrible. Le Fou Thien looked at this scene and said in his heart. Do the people of the mischievous pet store have this level of ability? The rumors around this store are sometimes it's completely true. Tu Lang Wei doesn't care about other people's opinions about her performance. She was very excited to leave. Get home from the field and tell your mother it's safe. Uncle Van Thien and Dong Min Tung, two people in the stands, watched Tu Lang Wei leave and applauded. Warmly congratulate Tu Lang Wei on easily passing the qualifying round. I want to take this opportunity to say a few nice words to Boss Tu. Who knows when he disappeared, without the two old men knowing. Tu Lang Wei slowly left the field through the player's entrance with a camera installed. Images of players leaving the field are displayed directly on the control room screen. The lights on the path suddenly made a screeching sound and then turned off completely. The road ahead suddenly turned dark. Tu Lang Wei was alert and turned around to look. But not finding anything strange, thinking it was due to an old circuit, To Lang Wei continued to walk to the outside walkway. At this time, the control room of the competition was covered in blood and bodies everywhere. Someone killed the control room staff and destroyed some of the monitors here. A hooded man revealed the sinister smile of someone who had just murdered someone. There will soon be another child attending the grandparents' house. He wiped the bloody knife from his hand and mumbled. This To Lang Wei dares to compete with the 4 great families for the elite championship? Let's see how she will be handled by the boss. This black dog team with an average strength of level 8 is famous everywhere as a team that specializes in doing evil things and has a bad reputation. They often do dirty work on behalf of the 4 great families, so no one has ever dared to openly stop them. Protected by the 4 great families, no one dared to come and arrest them to blame them. The leader raised a photo of To Lang Wei to respond. Is there any other way? According to your family's orders, just cripple both arms and legs. But looking at this girl, her beauty is quite good. It's okay to play first and then deal with it. It's been a long time since I've eaten a lamb. Behind the person who spoke were many men with dirty faces all covering their faces. Everyone smiled sinisterly when mentioning their prey. His subordinate bared his teeth and laughed in support. Big brother, I'm tired of playing, it's time for you guys. The leader heard the footsteps getting closer and closer and ordered his subordinates to prepare to attack. To Lang Wei is walking in the dark because the light has been damaged. Suddenly, a hand reached behind her at a very fast speed. Grabbed her shoulder and wanted to pull her back. But To Lang Wei, from the moment the lights went out, felt something was wrong. At this time, the body was extremely alert and immediately turned its head to make a move on the person who had just touched it. As soon as his leg swung up to enhance level 5 strength, his hand punched straight at the person standing behind him, his mouth cursing to death. To Lang Wei did not expect that person to use just one hand to block the move, and also praised her very good reflexes. To Lang Wei clearly saw that the person following her was To Bin. Suddenly, the green vein pot said, "Can you stop testing my reflexes all the time? If you can't fix a mistake, you'll be crippled." To Bin turned around and smiled and said, "I wish you could beat me until I'm disabled. I'll take you home, this way." To Lang Wei looked at the direction To Bin left. "No, nothing. This road is closer, why don't you go that way?" To Bin's eyes moved slightly, but he didn't say much, just answered simply. "I just came from that side, it's all trash. I've already called someone to clean up." The group of black dog soldiers who were in ambush followed the sound of footsteps approaching. They all just came out of the darkness and wanted to take action. Unexpectedly, it was not To Lang Wei but someone, looking completely strange, standing against the wall. The leader didn't quite understand. What the hell is this? Is that the sound of footsteps just now? Tiu Mai Lao saw someone approaching him and opened his eyes. With just a glance, the bone knife in his hand moved. Sharp murderous aura and flowing demonic aura instantly swept away everything that To Bin called trash here. The afternoon woke up so quickly that the black dog group still didn't know what had just happened to them. Tiu Mai Lao held the peach bone and compressed the murderous aura into thin, feather-like strands. "Wherever I go, I cut people's heads off. Even a level 8 strategy will be sent to the sky by one of its moves." Tomato sauce seemed like the lid had been popped off a can and spewed everywhere. The whole area where they were standing was red. The move that little bone just used. It is the first form of the Samsara blade of chaos and chaos. After swinging the knife once, it landed gently, put the knife back in its sheath, and left. To Bin just drove To Lang Wei back to Tin Nin Pet Store. Seeing Dao Tun waiting outside, he enthusiastically came over to say hello. "Senior Dao Zun, are you also here to train star pets?" Dao Tun scratched his head in confusion and said his purpose. "What can I say? I stopped by to see how long it took for my pee to dry." Then he crossed his arms and spoke seriously. "But if he's busy, that's fine. He looks like he's sulking at someone else." To Bin sees Dao Tun like that, it's really difficult to understand. "Ah fuck, what's going on? We haven't seen each other for a month. What happened to the little skeleton with Dao Tun?" He thought again. "That's not important. Just be stronger." He immediately opened it, summoning a small skeleton that didn't understand what was going on out. He also respectfully expressed that this child had asked him to take care of him a lot. After handing over the small bone to Dao Tun, Bin went into the shop and saw something strange. Looking at the large chests in the shop, he wondered what this was. Anna stood nearby and explained that they were brought by some self-professed people from the Chow family. They also placed more than 100 orders for premium pet training packages. They also said that these things were used to compensate the young master. Sending it here, I hope Boss Tu will accept it and leave it to the Chow family. In the future, the Chow family will obey Bin's orders. When Bin heard that, he was very satisfied and asked again. Very good. Have you checked your belongings yet? Anna gently used her divine power. After scanning the chests, she said coldly. I used my divine sense to scan it. Even though there were no poisonous organs or traps inside, it was all just trash. The Chow family's self-swollen ants dared to use trash as gifts. I need my god to come out. Is your face completely gone? Bin didn't think the Chow family still had the guts to do such nonsense, so he went to open the chest to see what was inside. When the lid is opened, blinding light leaks out inside, causing him to quickly close the lid. I almost lost my damn eyes. Anna teased him. There's nothing wrong with what I said. It's all trash, isn't it? He thought to himself, are these things trash? We have to go to Anna's house to steal some good things. We have to go to Anna's place and breastfeed the baby. Lang Wei realized what was inside, so he quickly asked how he wanted to use so many good things. Bin immediately said with pride that this small talk was really stupid. Of course it was for you to practice, so take advantage of the 3-day break from taking the exam and quickly absorb all the secret treasures. Hearing this, Lang Wei was so surprised that stunned, he slowly asked me why. But I had only seen these secrets in books before, so how could I know how to use them? Nhuen came out of nowhere and said that these secret treasures were of too high a level for her. She put on an expression like she was lecturing some country people to explain. If you keep absorbing nonsense, you will be overwhelmed and explode. These clucking chickens don't even know the basics. Nhuen is the young master of one of the 4 great families, and certainly knows how to use the secret treasure by heart. This is clearly the right person at the right time. Bin's eyes were bright as if he had put on a headlight. It was truly like heaven and earth benefiting people. Come here and explain to me. Perhaps you have never seen a more terrible punishment. This punishment is only used domestically. The girl wearing a white swimsuit was blinded, then hit with a leaf. Looking at the leaf seems so gentle, but when you hear the popping sound onto Lang Wei's back, you know it's not very comfortable. Why did you get punished after passing the qualifying round? Nhuen used a black rope, tying to Lang Wei's hands up high above his head, regardless of what the girl told him to stop. Nhuen held the rope in one hand and the other held a leaf and patted his back without stopping. Nhuen smiled and gently reminded, "Tu is because of your actions. I'm afraid you will go crazy when you practice, so I tie you up. Try a little more, practice together." Lang Wei was tied up until her face turned red. She was upset and didn't understand why she was in this situation. An hour ago, Bin brought Lang Wei to talk to Nhuen, telling her the uses of these secret treasures. How? Nhuen crossed her arms and arrogantly began to haggle, telling you what I would get. How would you let me go? Suddenly I heard Bin speak very comfortably. Letting me go was fine, but waiting for me took over Jia and then released her. Then he smiled sinisterly and clenched his hand, signaling that you don't have to wait long, but hurry up and do it for me. Lang Wei stood behind and looked at his brother threatening others in such a refreshing way and didn't know what else to say. In his mind, he thought that his brother was not like the male lead but just like a villain. Nhuen seemed like don't be scared and snorted. How can a noble person like you pay attention to our Duong family? Let me tell you, our Duong family is much bigger than the big families in this city. In Longjiang City, one branch of my clan is more than capable of competing with the 3 great clans. If we talk about our Tang family, we have to start with our long history. Once upon a beautiful day, there was a bald guy in my family. Nhuen did not know when he was immersed in the story of Duong family's pride and began to tell the story. Tabin looked at this scene and lost patience, asking how the secret treasure was used, not asking about the old and new things of the Duong family. He silently asked the system at first that it said that Anna's contract was still successful, meaning that the contract was effective. Even with goddesses, ultimate is not limited to star pets, normal people can also use it. The system appeared to answer him immediately, of course everything is a pet beast. For the person signing the contract, their strength will not change temporarily, but then their ability will gradually decrease until it reaches the level of the person who signed the contract. Star pets of the same level, the ability is maintained without decreasing until the pet has been nurtured once. It is recommended to use contracts with people who have weaker fighting strength, otherwise you will fail or be betrayed like last time. Tabin agreed with the system's proposal and then silently pulled out a temporary spiritual contract. He did not intend to waste any more words with Duong Nhuyen but took action. Duong Nhuyen was telling a story when he suddenly saw Tabin walking quickly towards him, feeling strange and worried. "What do you want to do to me?" Tabin didn't elaborate, but used one hand to hold Duong Nhuyen's wrists. Inside, he held her wrists and raised them above her head, his other hand raised as if to touch her face. "I want to talk to you but I can't. So I have to use tricks." Duong Nhuyen was both embarrassed and angry, thinking he had an evil plan, so she gritted her teeth and cried out. "Beast, quickly let me go. If anything happens to me, you won't even know how to use the secret treasure." Ignoring those trivial threats, Tabin raised his hand and gently touched Duong Nhuyen's forehead. The bright red contract seal immediately appeared. The contract signing was temporarily successful. When he was done, he released her hand immediately. Duong Nhuyen felt uncomfortable and asked harshly what he had done to her. Tabin smiled and asked again. "Nothing. How do you see me now?" I was about to curse him, of course I wanted to kick his ass. But before the words left her mouth, something suddenly appeared in her consciousness, making her realize something was wrong. This person in front of him is clearly an enemy. It should make you want to chop him into 100 pieces, right? But for some reason, now she suddenly felt that his breath, his words, and even his presence were a threat to her in an inexplicable way. The image of Tabin in Duong Nhuyen's mind also suddenly became a divine statue that looked majestic and shining, making her unable to resist even a single word. Suddenly she heard Tabin call him Baby Duong. Duong Nhuyen didn't understand what that call was, but he saw his body kneeling on the ground at Tabin's feet. Tu Lang Wei stood behind and saw this, not understanding what the problem was. Why did she suddenly turn into someone else? Tabin said with satisfaction. "Get up. I still like your previous arrogant personality better." Duong Nhuyen immediately recovered as before. "Get up from the ground. Say something. Miss Bond doesn't have time to play with you." Tu Lang Wei was surprised to hear Duong Nhuyen's response. "Oh yeah, it's back to normal again." Tabin waved his hand and pointed to the chest behind him. "Explain how to use these secrets. I want to use these 3 days to train Tu Lang Wei." Duong Nhuyen showed an unhappy expression, saying that it would only take 3 days to digest all these secret treasures in a dream. She slowly opened the chest and explained. "There are a lot of these secret treasures. But their uses can roughly be divided into 3 types. Medicinal herbs to forge the body, tactics to forge skills, and spirit stones to forge energy. It's just that the first stage is to take a tobacco bath in the room as well. It takes at least 3 months. If you don't have the right body, then when you practice, it will affect your internal organs and cause you to die." Tabin heard that and was thoughtful. Does he have to bathe for 3 months? Suddenly he remembered that if he had signed a pet contract with Duong Nhuyen, he could send it to the training ground to speed up the process. 1 day inside is equal to 1 hour outside. Taking 3 days off between rounds, staying inside will be equivalent to 72 days outside. It's quite enough to complete the physical training. After deciding, Tabin immediately started cheating on his sister. He did not explain that he would sign a contract with his sister like a pet, but promised to take Tu Lang Win to an interesting play. After all kinds of coaxing, the girl finally closed her eyes and helped Tabin sign the contract successfully. So now there is a scene of Talang Nguyen at the water tank being tormented by Duong Nhu Yen. Ah, it's so itchy, it's so itchy. Sometimes it's ticklish, sometimes it's so itchy that it's unbearable, but Duong Nhu Yen doesn't loosen her grip and just keeps holding the glare so she can endure it herself. Su Bin, who was cultivating and hovering above, heard his sister's pitiful screams and did not intervene. Although progress was slower than expected, there was a day off after each match. If you use the entire day off to go to the training area, you will probably absorb all this amount before the final match. So he still ignored his sister's cry for help. Duong Nhu Yen held the rope tightly and smiled. Don't paint your lips cold in the afternoon. This is me helping you change your skin and improve your physical condition. But this is too itchy. Tu Lang Wei felt sorry for herself and sobbed. Tu Bin heard the sound and immediately warned. Don't be distracted. Take a medicinal bath and exercise your body during this time. Isn't it more comfortable than fighting in the wild coup? There are so many people who want to soak but can't soak anymore. Tu Lang Wei heard his brother say that and expressed his willingness to go to Hoangvu area, not wanting to be tortured in this lake of medicinal water anymore. At this time, a report from the Mu family's subordinates came from the Mu family's palace, reporting that the leader of the Black Dog team had been attacked. The elder of the Mu family didn't bother to ask about the situation of the battle team, but instead asked what the results were. The reporter knelt on the ground and clasped his hands. The entire army was wiped out. The target to Lang Wei is safe and sound. The elders looked at each other and asked, did they wipe out the Black Dog team? Wasn't it made by Tu Lang Wei? The other person stammered and said, this matter is currently unconfirmed. The camera and other data were destroyed by the Black Dog from the beginning. The face of the head of the Mu family suddenly turned gloomy. What about the sack? Can you judge from the wound what weapon or technique the opponent is using? The other person wore a mask, but it was still visible that he was breaking out in a cold sweat as he had to report this. There is no body. The people in the Black Dog team seemed to have fallen into a smoothie machine. All of them had become minced meat. The head of the Mu family and the two elders were so shocked that they were speechless. An elder spoke up to analyze. Can kill an entire team of level 8 experts with only a pool of blood remaining. Perhaps there are crowned masters outside the arena to help. The head of the Mu family couldn't help but nod in agreement. If you can't kill it outside the arena, the only way is to kill it in the arena. We can't let that brat go to the semifinals and get in the way of the young master of the Mu family. After deciding, Patriarch Muk called his subordinates over. The guards below were ready to wait for orders. He slowly spoke, rewarding an adult DM Tin Demon Hell Dragon with 2 additional sets of level 7 secret treasures to help you win the match after a 3-day rest period. The 3 subordinates clasped their hands in thanks and couldn't help but feel excited. The Demon Star Dragon Beast ranked 15th in strategy was truly a wonderful gift that everyone who received it loved it. In the Chin family, there were also people who knelt in front of the secret treasure chest, but thanked the things given to him and swore to his death to complete the mission. The Duong family also had the same goal, boiling with spirit to kill Tu Lang Wei on the field. He also vowed to use her blood to demonstrate the clan's power. Fighting Tin An has returned to the ring in the arena. The person hosting the match asked a question. I wonder how the players who passed this 3-day qualifying round will rest. Here begins a melee knockout battle between 5 players. After hearing the start, the audience cheered excitedly, causing the atmosphere to heat up. Since it's a fight, there must be instructions. The MC said that the recent qualifying round was only a preliminary test of the players' speed and observation skills. But today's qualifying round will test the players' strength and ability to judge the situation. So this time the arena is a little different, to put 5 players in a limited range so they can rub against each other. Each person entering the arena is allowed to bring a maximum of 2 secret treasures. I don't know what kind of fight, if you raise your hands to surrender, or lose consciousness before surrendering, or get knocked out of the competition area, you will be eliminated from the game. Out of 5 participants, only 1 person is the winner. By the way, a reminder that damaging the entire field is considered a violation, so players who like to use plowing skills should think again. Otherwise, they won't be able to plow the fields and will lose their right to farm. People, On each prepared arena, for groups of 5 people, there is a list of people competing together. Players please line up in the waiting area according to the announced number. I don't know who will be the last one standing. If you want to know, you must invite the first group of players into the arena. The 5-person melee arena officially began amid cheers from viewers. Dong Min Tung sat with his arms crossed, waiting in the stands for the match to start, and couldn't help but admire the quality of this year's players. Not bad at all. The match will definitely be very interesting. Chu Van Thien, sitting on to Bin's other side, also turned to chat. Have you guys heard the news? The people of Tin Kong have come to our city. As expected, this news also caused Dong Min Tung to ask the Tin Kong organization again. Is that the strongest organization in our Asian region? It is said that the founder of the first period of the organization was a legendary level battle pet master. What did they come to this city for? Chu Van Thien leaned his head close to his old friend, whispering as if afraid someone would hear the secret, completely ignoring who to Bin was meditating in the middle of. But Tin Kong's arrival is never a good thing. Chief. Dong Min Tung also leaned towards that direction. I heard last month that there was a big family in another city fighting over the secret treasure, but Tin didn't target them, and as a result, they were destroyed. The more Van Thien talked, the more he whispered, causing Dong Min Tung to lean closer to listen until the wall surrounding the city base was also damaged and had a huge hole. Just a little bit more and the dimensional water will be activated. Are they crazy? Just because of this little matter. At this point Bin suddenly opened his eyes and saw Chu Van Thien, sighing to this extent. We can only hope that there is nothing to make them close them. It's time for the competition. The host invites the players to his field. Tu Lang Nguyen had been outside for a long time, clenched his fists and walked into his arena. Opponent players appeared on the other sides of the ring, forming a small circle with me, big enough for everyone to see each other's appearance. The battle begins. The MC opened the match, but they didn't rush into each other right away and instead observed for a while. Chuang Thuk stuck out his tongue like a snake's and looked at Tu Lang Wei, smiling sinisterly. Is this the girl who won the championship? Standing next to him was a huge Ma Tong, his body full of fangs and claws, looking at Tu Lang Wei, laughing loudly. Next to her was a female player in a strong red outfit shaking her arms, also coldly snorting and looking at Tu Lang Nguyen with contempt, even advising her to surrender early to avoid getting injured. With the group of newcomers who didn't know anyone who knew me and were so worried and arrogant, Tu Lang Wei did not hesitate for a second and deployed a fighting stance, briefly instructing you all to try. Suddenly, from below Tu Lang Wei, came the call of a boy only as tall as her shoulder. Sister, their eyes are so scary. Looking at Ngu Tujiang like a middle school student talking to her intimately, Tu Lang Wei feels a little hard to put into words what she's afraid of. It's not aimed at you. Besides, we're rivals, don't call me that. Who would have thought that Ngu Tujiang sobbed, rubbed his eyes, and looked at her indifferently, but they wanted to band together to defeat her, and soon it would be your turn. Can the two of us join forces? Tu Lang Nguyen initially did not plan to join forces. But what the boy said was right. If she was beaten by 3 people at once, it would definitely be difficult to cope. So I smiled and told Ngu Tujiang that I agreed. Hearing that, the boy smiled brightly, raised his hand towards her and said, I'll leave your back to you. Tu Lang Wei raised her hand to respond, saying that she also gave her back to me. While smiling on the outside, Ngu Tujiang is laughing so cutely on the inside. He has used this harmless face to trick so many girls into softening their hearts. You are no different. When his 2 hands touch each other, he will unleash the 7th level secret treasure of the Mu family, consuming the essence of fire to seal all the energy of the person with fighting power, below level 6, leaving people with no way to release themselves. Okay. However, this treasure must be used directly, which is why we came up with this alliance. As soon as he caught Tu Lang Wei's hand, Ngu Tujiang immediately held out that secret treasure, wanting it to touch her hand immediately. He thought with pride that this time, if he lost his energy, he wouldn't be able to call out his battle pet, so he would have to stand up here and let others handle it. Who would have thought that while approaching the secret treasure towards Tu Lang Wei, Ngu Jiang suddenly felt an electric current passing through his body, making him panic. Before I could understand what was happening, I was shocked and fell to the ground. The secret treasure as I held it also rolled on the floor. This not only made the 3 remaining people on the field widen their eyes, but also made the MC who stopped the match surprised and asked what just happened, and that player Ngu Jiang fell down like that. Ngu Jiang tried to get up on the ground, his face filled with anger and helplessness as he looked at Lang Wei who was picking up his secret treasure, paralysis poison. Do you dare to harm poison? Lang Wei put the secret treasure in his pocket, turned to look at him and smiled, not bothering to hide the poisonous needle in his hand. It was because he wanted to hold my hand. I would like this item please. Ma Tong's face darkened and he asked how she knew for sure he was an enemy. If he poisoned the wrong person, wouldn't he lose an ally? How could there be a mistake? He, like me, learned from the Muck family. This sentence caused Ngu Jiang to be pushed aside. Lang Wei grabbed his feet and dragged him away, not forgetting to ask her what she meant by that. There are 2 more people, the Tan family and the Duong family, right? Trong Thuk and the other girl were both sweating. They were right. How did she know? Lang Wei decisively threw Ngu Jiang down from the ring, ending his eligibility to compete, then turned back to look at the crowd on the field. From the moment you entered this arena, the way you walked and breathed revealed your identity. She just opened it, creating a seductive space while staring at her opponent. On the field, my brother said that anyone from the 4 great families does not need to be merciful. The others quickly summoned their pets and simultaneously attacked Lang Wei. After all, being told their status made them angrily yell at you to look at the tactics. My practice is, go out to the market and see what type it is. Cut Thunder also shouted less and said less. She rushed forward alone. She couldn't fight against 3 people. Go away, Demon Bee. Tear it out and storm the wolf. The 2 sides began to wax their leaves. Cut Thunder turned his head to look at Ma Tong from the Mew family standing there not participating in the battle. He couldn't help but angrily ask why he didn't summon a battle pet. He stood there and said calmly, "Don't command me, the Mew family just lost someone. Who knows if that little family has precious words in it? I just casually toss out the main pig and the checkout pig. Isn't that a good bait for it to chop?" Letting their pet fight with the Huyan Diem beast, Cat Loi and Trong Thuk fiercely turned their heads to look at Ma Tong and cursed. This damn thing, are you using us as a stepping stone? Ma Zong still calmly raised his chin towards the group of pets that were fighting each other. It's better for me to observe your pets, they've all fallen down. Hearing that, the 2 people turned their heads in bewilderment, and were indeed speechless by the scene before their eyes. Sure enough, 2 attacks and 1 hit would be lame. The Speed Demon Wasp and the Windstorm Wolf actually fell into a weak position after only a few moves, and were continuously pushed back, almost to the edge of the arena. Seeing that the situation was not good, Cat Loi pulled out something that looked like a bright red gem surrounded by a fire outside. So I have to use the secret treasure given to me by my family. Hey, that street guy, quickly take out my things and deal with them together, otherwise if this continues, we'll both die. Then the Muck family member ate leftovers alone. In her hand is the powerful secret wing. The Luke family's level 6 boost makes the user increase their strength within 10 minutes, with the same effect for ferocious beasts level 6 and above. Trong Thuk did not delay. He grabbed a fist from his mouth and released a snake puppet, a level 6 secret treasure of the Duong family. This is a secret weapon that moves quickly, but does not reveal its energy while trying to kill the opponent with venom. Enemies below level 6 that do not detect it in time will be bitten to death by its poison. The whole person and pet beast surrounded the Huyan Diem beast in all 4 directions, wanting to knock it out immediately. But relying on others to bully the weak doesn't make Lang Wei scared, right? She touched the string around her neck and summoned the Mew family's secret beast star necklace. With a quick move, Lang Wei's appearance became completely different from before. Her nails grew long like those of a beast, her eyes, metallic and full of marks, seemed to have transformed into a small animal. It's a symbiotic blood beast move. Snowball, let's go. The 5-person match on the ring has just begun. Huyan Diem Beast was surrounded by both humans and pets. Seeing that the situation was not good enough for the Huyan Diem Beast to deal with it alone, To Lang Wei used the Mew family's secret beast star pass. Just as Cat Loi and Trong Thuk brought their pet animals and rushed to set up a net to catch them, the Huyan Diem Beast suddenly turned into nothingness and slowly disappeared on the spot. Cat Loi didn't immediately understand what was going on. I could only realize that the Huyan Diem Beast I was about to attack was actually just an illusion. While me boy Exa had not yet realized anything, she suddenly turned towards Cat Loi and made a hissing sound. Cat Loi was startled to realize. Let's go to Lang Wei and Huyan Diem Beast first. With increased combat power, he suddenly appeared and jumped down in the air to approach Cat Loi's position. Cat Loi quickly turned his head to look up. His target was in the sky. Then, due to my duty, I always left that magical beast alone. Take care of that girl. Fong Bao Lang and Speed Maong both aimed at Lang Wei, slashing all kinds of illuminations at her. But Su Lang Wei avoided it too easily. With moves this slow, there was no way she could beat them. It hit me and now I have to counterattack. Lang Wei curled her fingers like claws. A dark red aura emerged around her. Flick your hand like a claw spreading forward. The beast Huyan Diem ran next to her and used Dark Inflammation Pan at the same time his master used the move. The demon wasp's speed couldn't keep up, so he had to take a punch. Cat Loi looked at her injured pet and was surprised and did not understand. In the end, what tactics did she practice? But can you fight so flexibly with war pets? It's really embarrassing, but I can't beat this girl at all. Trong Thuk also realized that the situation was completely unfavorable, giving his side a terrible physical condition. Killing head-on with a level 6 war pet does not put you in a weak position at all. But Lang Wei and Huyan Diem Beast attacked more and more fiercely. Sand Thunder relied on the giant ring and 2 pet beasts to have difficulty staying on the field. While Trong Thuk stood out of close range and fired hidden weapons at the enemy, to reduce the pressure on Cat Loi, but it didn't seem to be very effective. Ma Tong did not participate in the battle from the beginning, but stood aside to analyze the situation. The strategy used by that girl looks familiar, doesn't it? If I'm not mistaken, those are the favored strategies of the descendants of the main family and of the Muk family who are qualified to learn them. For Cat Loi and Trong Thuk, if they don't put all their effort into attacking now, they will surely lose. Chuang Thuk held his hand and ordered the demon wind to wrap around Lang Nguyen's blind spot, waiting for the right time to attack. Not all war pet masters are in sync with their pets. Most normal war pets have to use their mouths to command their pets, with an understanding level of about 40 to 60%. They are mainly battle pets who have experience fighting with their star pets and have had good coordination for many years. So a gesture or a look can understand each other. Sitting next to Bin watching this match, Uncle Van Thien and Dong Min Tung are senior battle pets. Looking out on the field, you know that this player has a long time fighting alongside his pets. Uncle Van Thien couldn't help but happily praise Lang Wei. Now marrying 2 enemies is still more than enough, being a girl but not inferior to any man. Dong Min Tung, sitting next to him, also nodded. The coordination rate between her and the Huyan Diem Beast was far superior to those who had been fighting with the beast for many years. Because at the very highest level, we can only reach 100% understanding of each other. Only the unique strategy of the Mew family's royal pet can make the consciousness of the star pet and the battle pet master become one, without even having to look to know what the other is thinking. The agreement rate can reach 200%, which is understandable. The Huyan Diem Beast tore into pieces the purple snake that kept squirming, and also successfully blocked the Fong Bao Lang that was rushing to attack. The demon wasp, which had just received a blow just now had no choice but to stand still and receive a killing claw from Lang Wei said goodbye to this world forever. Chuang Thuk was still standing in the distance, shooting hidden weapons at Lang Wei, making her feel so annoying that she wanted to die. Now I rushed to the place where he pushed me to the floor, my eyes flashed, wanting to deal with Trong Thuk. Chuang Thuk watched as he was about to be scratched to death under Lang Wei's claws. Then out of nowhere a giant dark red claw appeared, wanting to grab Lang Wei, fanning it towards Huyan Diem Beast. Tu Lang Wei immediately bent down and jumped back. Huyan Diem Beast also learned from its owner to avoid the claws, temporarily avoiding killing Trong Thuk. The dragon retracted its claws and roared loudly. Ma Tong, who had been watching all this time, decided to get involved in the battle and brought out his trump card. Ma Tong crossed his arms and looked at his opponent while avoiding the attack. The Hell Dragon's Demon Star clicked his tongue at a good speed. Flame Star Devil Hell Dragon, activate Dragon Prestige. The Hell Dragon Demon Star immediately opened its mouth wide and let out a scream. Long Yin has extremely strong penetrating properties, bringing with it an extremely fierce aura, and is filled with majesty. Vibrations were evident in the eardrums of both the fighters and the spectators in the stands. Tu Lang Wei immediately bent down to the ground. Being shocked by Long Ui, he knelt down on one knee to support himself. Strangely, DM2 district was not affected at all, still standing tall and steady on the field. Ma Tong couldn't help but be surprised to see that Huyan Diem Beast did not kneel before Long Ui, and suddenly exclaimed that the store that trained him was really good. It's enough that its owner is influenced by Long Ui. Because Long Ui makes the battle pet master mentally unstable, he cannot continue to maintain a state of resonance with the pet. Just after finishing her comments, Tu Lang Wei realized that due to being oppressed by Long Ui, the state of resonance with the beloved beast was gradually disappearing from her body. The royal pet tactic temporarily lost its powerful effects, making Tu Lang Wei worried and had to quickly think of another way to deal with it. Outside, Uncle Van Thien couldn't help but shout pitifully. If it weren't for the Muck family causing trouble, Tu Lang Wei would have been able to solve the two Tang Chin families at the same time. Dong Min Tung also spoke up. Let the disciple who is not the successor use the adult dragon beast level 8, ranked 15. It's clear that the Mu family wants to win the championship, that's why they spend so much money. Cat Tuyat held the injured area, looking at this scene with obvious relief. No more of that weird tactic. Let me see what that girl can do. Chuang Thuk just saved her life immediately revealed a proud smile. This monster dares to hit me to the point of being injured like this. I will make you look good. Trong Thuk and Cat Loi quickly joined forces to get close to where Tu Lang Wei was struggling with Long Ui, wanting to take advantage of the time when she was being suppressed by Long Ui to use a move to completely solve the problem. From above, the MC commented on the developments, raising the question, will player Tu Lang Wei be the second person eliminated? Tu Lang Wei was trying to get up and glanced at the surrounding situation and couldn't help but pout. There is a dragon beast that is extremely domineering, yet it is still despicable in fighting until the end. It seems like everyone knows who the winner is in this match, right? Ma Tong laughed, it seemed she also knew this. Tu Lang Wei did not answer Ma Tong's words, but glanced behind him at the two people who were approaching him, wanting to use the wind to break bamboo shoots. But unfortunately for the two members of the Duong family and the Chin family who worked so hard, the secret treasure was also used up and someone else took advantage of it. It's a pity. Ma Tong realized something was wrong and immediately said in a cold voice. What are you talking about? Tu Lang Wei still did not answer him, but turned her head slightly to look at the two people behind her and asked. Isn't that right, the Duong family and the Tan family? I spent too much energy on the battle just now. If the three of us join forces to defeat the Mu family now, then it would be reasonable no matter which of us three you defeat. But if you guys are still on Muk Ra's side, then after I lose my qualifications to compete, even if you all join forces, you won't be able to defeat him. Maybe he even used you guys to get into the next round and win the championship, so what? Trong Thuk heard this and had a clearly unhappy look on his face. Although it was very uncomfortable, the situation was exactly as she said. Continuing like this is like working for Mu family for free. Let's weaken the Mu family first. But Cat Tuyat calmly stopped him slowly. Then she revealed a quiet smile. Is the Su family in better shape than us? I'm afraid there's still a hidden trump card that hasn't been taken out yet. Let her fight the Mu family alone. We'll rest here, wait for the Mu family to deal with her, and then we'll fight the Mu family again. Let him taste what it feels like to be a stepping stone. When Ma Tong heard people talking about him, he shouted loudly. Cat Loi performed an elementary recovery technique for her faction while laughing. If you dare to come, we will kill you and that girl named too. I advise you to deal with her first. Trongthuk sat down to enjoy the recovery magic, his face happily coldly snorting. Very good. Like so it can be guaranteed that the little girl has already eaten. We still have a chance to win this match. Ma Tong is a bit angry, he thought to himself. If it weren't for the Hell Dragon's attack skills, it would be easy to destroy the arena and lose the right to compete. Let it spit out lava. That lava combined with his fire vu stone could easily kill all three of them at once. The longer the battle lasted, the more the two Qin Tang dynasties recovered. For him, there are only disadvantages. In order to quickly win the battle, he immediately signaled the Hell Dragon to join him in rushing towards Tu Langwei. Tu Langwei didn't say anything but secretly breathed a sigh of relief. Even though the separation was not successful, it was better than being surrounded by three children at once. At this time, one-on-one should not be negligent or slow. Hastily signaled Huyan Diem Beast to use his Dream Bib and Musk Head. From Huyan Diem Beast's eyes, purple light emitted straight towards the dragon. But the Flame Demon Hell Dragon summoned a layer of protection, surrounding it like a cage to avoid this skill from attacking it. Soon the Flame Demon Hell Dragon swung its claws again, brutally patted Huyan Diem Beast's body and sent it flying to one side. Tu Langwei saw that Huyan Diem Beast was seriously injured and suddenly froze for a moment. Suddenly a green light flashed. Ma Tong rushed forward and used this moment to slash Tu Langwei. Fortunately, you were as agile as someone who jumped out to avoid his attack, only to hear Ma Tong roar, "Take care of yourself first." Then he lifted his leg and kicked Tu Langwei hard in the face. With Tu Langwei in midair, this blow was so strong that she couldn't help but get kicked back. Huyan Diem's body flashed and ran towards the direction Tu Langwei was kicked away, using his body to catch her falling to reduce injuries. Tu Langwei calmed down and analyzed the situation at hand. Damn it, Longwei made her body work slower than usual. Fortunately, the snowball was well trained, so it was not affected, so it was able to catch her so quickly. Ma Tong and the Hell Dragon of Hell Dragon slowly approached where she stood. He smiled faintly and said arrogantly, "Don't waste any more time, admit defeat soon, because my Hell Dragon Demon Star is invincible." Seeing them getting closer and closer to her, Tu Langwei had to quickly think of a solution. Why is the Musk Head Bib not effective? If you find the cause, there will be a chance to turn around. Even though it was a first-year match, at this time on the stage, two of them were Sand and Lightning, and Trongthuk calmly used health techniques to close his eyes and rest. Ma Tong, facing Tu Langwei at this time, could not help but show his power before taking action. Don't waste any more time. If you proactively surrender, I will give you some dignity. Tu Langwei still did not answer him but only focused on observing the situation. The snowball's spear had no effect just now. If he blindly attacked now, he would definitely reveal his mistake. Although her pet only has a level 7 upper level strategy, she has also controlled a level 8 lower level fierce beast. But as for Hell Dragon Demon Star, this level 8 is different from what Snowball has dealt with before. Could it be that Ma Tong used tactics or secret treasures to resist the mental attack from the Snowball's moves?